Hey there, YouTube! Welcome back to Artichoke Dip. My name is Rob, solo tabletop gamer. And in this video, I'm going to cover some things. I'm not going to be talking about much gaming. I'm going to be talking about the change to YouTube that's coming. The change that's going to happen to this channel, where I have been, and why things have been kind of stagnant on my channel. So stay tuned to hear all that and a lot more. So, if you are new to my channel, let me get this out of the way. First and foremost, my channel is not for kids. So, if you are a kid, please click the back button now. Look at your web browser. Look up here. Right up here, you should see this arrow clicking that way. Fucking click the button. Okay, now that we got that out of the way, if you like my video, please click the like button. And if you have not subscribed, please click the subscribe button, followed by the bell icon. Every time I upload a brand new video, you will hear about it. So let's get into the meat and the potatoes of this thing and get it out of the way. So first and foremost, you're probably thinking, Artichoke, where the hell have you been? And why in the hell have you made any videos? Fair enough. Let's get this out of the way. And the first thing I'm going to get out there and say, first of all, I do not make a living off of YouTube. Let me say that again. I do not make a living off of YouTube. Okay, that's out of the way. So this is a hobby of mine. When I get time, I will sit down and make a video. It is actually a hobby. It's not like one of those things where people who make a living, they have to, because let's face it, that's how they eat. If you must know, I am a mechanic. I have been a mechanic for my entire adult life, and we have been working a lot of hours. This year has been a particularly busy year, ranging between 50 to 60 hours a week, every week. And so the money's good. I can't complain there. But, you know, the other thing that impacted my life with the overtime is that I did get hurt at work. I had broke a rib right back here by my back. As a result of it, they thought I was having a heart attack because I was a former cigarette smoker. It hurt to breathe, blah, 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 blah. Sent me to the emergency room. They tell me, no, you broke a rib, but we have to go have you see this other doctor. As a follow-up, so I went and seen the doctor. Doctor tells me, hey, look, you got emphysema in your right lung, and you need to quit smoking. Because if you don't, you're probably not going to be around too much longer. So I had to make lifestyle changes. I mean, there was just no two ways about it. It had to happen if I want to be here to see my daughter graduate and see my daughter get married and possibly see my grandchildren. I had to make lifestyle changes. And in doing so, it was one of the hardest things I've ever had to do. Unless you are a smoker, you don't realize how much smoking really influences and affects every part of your life, every aspect of it, from the minute you first wake in the morning until you go to bed at night. And going through this, it was tough. There were things where I'd sit down and I'd want to play a game, and I would start having just severe withdrawal symptoms because, you know, my routine would be get the game out, set it up, go outside, have a few smokes, come back in, sit down, play an hour, get up, go have a few smokes, come back, sit down, play another hour, go up and have a few more smokes. And so I had to make changes. I had to make adjustments, and I'm so glad I did. You know, I've come out the other side. I'm doing better. The doctor told me my breathing function and everything has just improved immensely, and so with that behind me, I have to say I'm doing a hell of a lot better, and I'm going to leave that right there. I think that's enough about that. So that's kind of why you've seen the channel, a lot of inactivity with the channel. I've, you know, just getting readjusted to things and the way I do things. Which I can drink these things again and enjoy them because I'm not sitting here like, you know. I tried that when I first, oh man, that was a bad experience. Yeah. it was like right after I first quit. I think I was like maybe the third week into it, and I decided I'm gonna have an energy drink just to see. And I had one, and oh my god, it was bad. I have to thank my wife. She was a very strong woman, and she was able to help me through that and tell me, look, you don't want to go back to smoking. And if it wasn't for her, I would have probably just been like, fuck it, and tore out the front door, went to the first store and bought a pack of whatever they had. And but didn't turn out that way. So, I have to thank my wife a lot. She was my rock through that. She really was, and supported me and gave me a lot of encouragement to help see that through. So, anyways, moving on. Enough of that. Whew. Let's talk about COPPA. If you're not familiar with that, unless you've been living underneath a rock, or I don't know, maybe you have. Anyways, if you're living underneath a rock and you're watching this, you know that Google owns YouTube. YouTube was recently sued, and they settled a lawsuit for $150 million from the Trade Commission because of videos that violated COPPA, which is Child Online Privacy Protection Act. And what that means is basically, as us as adults, when we are basically surfing the web and we're looking at different things, websites are collecting all sorts of information that they are using for marketing purposes to market to us. Well, with COPPA, they're not allowed to do that, technically. Which gets back to, they have YouTube for kids, but anyways, I'm not even going to go there. So, because of that, particularly gaming channels and some other creators out there that do make channels just for kids and kids content, stuff like that, the Trade Commission's coming down pretty hard on YouTube, and in 2020 it'll be coming down hard on content creators too, as to where if they feel as if you're deceitful about your content, you could be fined $42,000. Let me tell you something, that's not going to happen to me, because if it gets to that point to where YouTube wants to try to say, hey, we feel as if this, even though my content's made for adults, it's going to be at that point, the Google account will be deleted, basically, is what's going to happen. But anyways, I don't want that to happen. I really don't. I enjoy all you fine folks out there. I, am just honored from the bottom of my heart that you subscribe to me, that you like to sit here and listen to a complete whack job like me sit and ramble on about RPG games and all kinds of other geeky, weird shit, and I appreciate that, I really do. So, but how is the channel going to change? Well, first and foremost, when I ran my demographics and I looked at it, let's get this out of the way. So, the demographics of my channel, who does my channel, I should say, my subscribers, what do they fall into? So, not surprising, 100% male. The other part is the ages range from late 20s, early 30s, all the way to early 50s. So males in between 30 to 50 years old. And so at that point, yeah, I'm not making videos for children, okay? They're just really not. And besides that, I mean, if you really look at some of the stuff that the gaming material that we read and we use, besides Dungeons and Dragons, most of the stuff out there is written at a pretty high level of understanding that children probably wouldn't understand anyway. And so I can confidently say, hey, the channel's made for adults, not kids. So, which kind of gets me to, if this is how stupid it is. So instead of blaming, we've all seen these good examples of horrible parents out there in the world. Instead of blaming them for allowing their kids to unsupervised watch whatever the hell they want to watch, and then, point the finger at society as a whole because now they decided they could go out and become the next Jeffrey Dahmer, that it's our fault when it's not our fault. It's because bad parenting, and that's the issue that we are at this point. But why I'm going on this rant, I'm just going to throw out there has been so many things that have just royally pissed me off to no end about YouTube. And the reason why I still do this video is for the people out there that truly do enjoy gaming. We like gaming. We like the fantasy genre type of gaming, and this is what we've grown up with. And it's our passion. It's our hobby. There's people out there that maybe they don't like RPG gaming. Maybe they like little RC cars or flying planes around or driving little whatever, what have you. That's cool, man. That's your hobby. That's what you do. That's your, how do I put it? Your mental break from punching a time card and going in and spending 40 to 60 hours a week doing something you really don't want to do, that you're doing because you have to do to put food on the table for your family and a roof over their head. So you want something that you can kind of forget the world for a little while and basically have some enjoyment. And that's what this is about. But where YouTube is making it hard is it's first started out to where, for Christ's sake, I love Led Zeppelin. I love older music, and I'm listening to music, and I'm talking about a book. And they're like, oh no, we're threatening to sue you because, copyright this, copyright that. It's like, give me a freaking break, man. Really? Okay, so we had to do away with that. And I had this soundtrack that I listened to over and over and over again that's copyright free because, let's face it, they're AI software that goes through and can pick out whatever and say, oh no, this, you can't use this because of this. It's just like, what the fuck? Anyways, then we went from that to the whole entire monetization thing. To monetize. It's like, come on. To that. Now to this. Now to, I have to tell you whether this video is for kids or not for kids. No. I always try to keep my channel just open up PG for anybody. Anybody could watch it and get something from it, get some information from it, maybe learn something about the game genres and the gaming hobby maybe they never knew before. But evidently we can't do that anymore. We just can't do it. And so at this point, changes are going to have to be made. One of them that's going to be hard for me to do is actually to do a solo RPG playthrough, and I like to use my 3D terrain features, which anybody that enjoys any type of wargaming does. That's just the way it is. If you don't believe me, go to any fucking hobby shop and walk in there where they're playing Warhammer 40K, for Christ's sake. The majority of people out there that may say 40 whatever, trust me, it's an expensive game. It's an expensive game to be into. It costs a lot of dough, and the terrain is awesome. It's all 3D terrain, and you're talking huge tables with elaborate setups, and people from all ages go there to play miniatures for hours on end. And I like to use that style of gaming when I do my solo gaming. And I really enjoyed to make a video to be able to show you, but it may be hard for me to do that, right? So I got a couple examples I'm going to show you. So since I quit smoking, and I saved a lot of money, roughly about $300 a month that I'm no longer spending. It's literally going up to smoke. one of the things I got myself made by WizKids, which was marked on the box, not a toy. Not a toy. Not a toy. This 3D mausoleum. Top comes off. It's got the... you may be able to see it, you may not. Let me open up the door. Where you can actually see the square cutouts for the movement when you put your miniatures on the battlefield. So you can actually count spaces and all that. And so it was one of the first things that I got myself when I quit smoking as a reminder to show myself, like, look, this is what a carton of cigarettes, the value of a carton of cigarettes, and there's more to it than this. There's fencing and there's headstones and there's all kinds of stuff that goes with this mausoleum for the game setup. But it was, you know, this is basically what you'd be putting up in smoke every week, just to show me as a constant reminder. And but I can't show that. Why? Because somebody may say, well, what you're doing is, you know, you're trying to market this as a toy towards a kid. No, I'm not. I'm absolutely not. And I mean, the way it's just like this. Here's a miniature for that setup. Lord of the Rings, Gandalf the Grey. Pewter. It's pewter, not a toy. Not a toy. Not a toy. So now that we got that out there, highly collectible and very expensive. Matter of fact, this one was sent to me by a friend of mine who lives over in England, because over there they can get these still at a pretty reasonable price compared to what you would pay for them here in the States in good quality that were licensed through New Line Cinema. And you know, direct representations for, you know, your miniature skirmish, or if you're playing in Tolkien's Middle Earth. But it may be misconstrued that this collectible pewter, if you're not familiar with pewter, is, you know, stop this video, open up the Google and Google pewter and see what pewter is, and you'll figure it out real quick. It's not a toy. It's not. And but it could be misconstrued that way. So it may be hard for me to do a playthrough and show you, because somebody may say, well, he is showing stuff that's representative of maybe, I don't know, what a child might view as a toy. So yeah, let's talk about that and some of the stuff that... Good example here. Where is the... yeah. So, one of my favorite books from 2nd edition, and, you know, I don't understand how this could be misconstrued for children, but let's talk about this. The Guide to Hell. The Guide to Hell. All the way until we get to the big guy himself at the 9th ring of hell. Alright. So, as you can see here, people, some things are going to have to change with the channel. Some things are, well, it's inevitable, because basically, as I said in all my videos, it's my hard-earned money, and it really is hard-earned. I enjoy gaming. I enjoy fantasy genre settings, whether it be a video game, a good storybook, or whether I'm playing an RPG, whether it be RuneQuest or D&D or Adventures in Middle-earth or what have you, or whether I'm playing a miniature skirmish battle, whether that be HeroScape or D&D minis or what have you that I'm playing. I enjoy it, as do majority of you out there watching it. But moving forward, YouTube's going to make it very hard for a lot of creators to be able to make videos and talk to you about this stuff. And when it all boils back down to is, how do you pass the buck? How do you pass the blame? And that's where us, the creators, coming in 2020, are going to be the ones that are going to be left holding basically the fine. Because YouTube's going to be, at that point, saying, sorry, we're not responsible for what you upload. And now, even after I finish this video and get done with the editing and I go to upload it, I got to select, well, is your content for kids or is your content not for kids? Hell no, it's not for kids. It's really not. And, you know, if there's an upset mommy or daddy out there because I'm talking about the guide to hell, maybe your kid shouldn't be watching this. Just saying, you know? So, I just wanted to make this video, touch base, talk to you fine people out there, explain to you kind of why I've, you know, taken a little bit of an absence. I've taken a break. Lifestyle changes that I had to make. I've been really busy at work. And when all of this came about, my blood just been boiling. It's just been like, you know, what now? And it's very, very it's frustrating, to say the least. It's really frustrating for people like me that, you know, we go to work every day, we run this channel in our off time as our hobby to talk about this stuff, and then we have this bullcrap. Because A, there's people who try to make a living off of YouTube. That's all they want to do. And that's fine, I guess, if that's what you want to do, make your living off of a social media site, whatever. You can do that, but, you know, as far as people like myself, like I said, that, you know, we go to work every day, we work hard for what we have, we enjoy to buy our games and stuff like that, or our RC cars, or whether we're souping up our all-terrain vehicle for an outing up north or what have you, or whatever it is that you do, that's your escape from the humdrum of the monotonous everyday life that, you know, typically you do with your family, that gives you joy in your life. Unfortunately, with this channel, I have to make a decision. I can't have this channel as I used to want to keep it, as like a PG, you know, for everybody. And just can't do it anymore. So now it has to be for adults. And moving forward, that's what it will be for, is for adults. Which, looking at the demographics, has always pretty much been who's really engaged with this anyways. Which is not surprising. It really is not, because, let's face it, if you look at the majority of... Let me start over. Let's talk about, not gaming, but let's talk about something closely, I'm going to say, not even related to gaming, but another hobby that people may misconstrued as another form of geekism, which is comics. Which, if you know, the comic industry is huge right now in Hollywood, particularly with Marvel and Disney owning Marvel and pretty much pimping out every single aspect of Stan Lee's creations that they can possibly do, and they're probably going to pimp it out until there's nothing left of it and then mothball it, just like they're going to do with Star Wars. But you have DC Comics, right, which is not owned by the large, evil, sadistic corporation known as Disney. And DC is DC. And DC still makes comics like the old original Batmans for the kids, like, hey kids, don't forget to brush your teeth, and hey kids, you know, hell, that type of bullshit. Where they actually went through and they did the demographics and figured out that the majority of their readers and their fan base were not kids, but were people our age and older. They were the mid 30 somethings. And it was at that point that they went through, they revamped, and they made a new comic line, the New 52s, which is basically the DC universe reinvented, but it's much more dark, much more sinister. It's more of an entertainment level, a reading level for adults than children. And I love it because some of the stuff is extremely twisted, dark, and demented, particularly with the Joker. I love that. But anyways, it just goes to show you that, you know, hey, they had the smarts to do that and say, look, this right here, this book, it may be a graphic novel or a comic book or whatever, what, you know, have you. It's not intended for audiences below the age of 17. And you can respect them for doing that. But here's my question. How much longer is it going to be before the people out there that are now basically punishing the YouTube creators are going to be the same ones that are going to be complaining, well, let's take a look at DC Universe. Let's see what they've done. I mean, they're putting out this stuff, and oh my God, my kid could read this and decide to be the next Joker. People, it's time to just wake up and realize if you made a mistake, you need to own it. If you have a kid and you walk in and you see your kid watching some smut on your computer, it's your fault. It's your fault. Own it. Don't blame everybody else out there in the world for your mistake or your inability to be able to be a parent to your child. Just don't do it. Own it. Own your mistake. And unfortunately, because our society can't do that, because feelings get hurt and people can't own up to their mistakes or shortcomings, you know, everybody else has to be punished for that. Everybody else is expected to make changes to what they do to be able to, at that point, satisfy the status quo. And it's just getting old. I'm just going to throw that out there. It's getting very old. So moving forward, my channel, it's for adults. I'm no longer going to police the comments. As a matter of fact, I have changed the settings on that. So from this point out, if your kid at that point watches one of my videos and somebody decides to put some kind of inappropriate language or what have you in the comments and your kid reads it and you are just, oh my God, so upset, you know what? Too fucking bad. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say, and I'm gonna throw out there. It's just too damn bad. And I'm not hiding it anymore. Not putting up with this. I'm just fed up with trying to jump through all these hoops and trying to make everything to where you're afraid you might upset somebody. People are going to get upset. That's just called life. That's called a human emotion that we are all meant to experience and to deal with. And you have to deal with it. So, moving forward, folks, Artichoke Dip will be the solo tabletop gaming channel for adults. Alright, folks. I hope I didn't burn up too much of your time. And like I said, I hope this answers some questions out there and really put some closure to maybe some of your thoughts of, you know, hey, what happened to him? Did he get abducted by aliens? Did he fall off the edge of the flat earth? Did he, what have you? No, I'm still here. Just been really busy, been struggling with some lifestyle changes, and just been stewing on a few things, and had to get a few things off my chest as to basically how I feel about what sucks about me being able to talk about the hobbies that I enjoy and them being misconstrued because some people don't know how to be good parents in this world. So, with that all said, this is going to be Artichoke Dip. I'm going to be signing off, and if you liked my video and my ranting, please click the like button, and if you have not subscribed, please click the subscribe button followed by the bell icon. As soon as I upload a new video, you will hear about it. Alright, talk to you later. Artichoke Dip out.